Hello options traders, Steve Ganz here, and I want to use one of the features in OptionStrat to identify a new trade for me. So what I want to do here is I want to go to the flow function. I'm going to come in on flow, just kind of see what's trading today, what's trading, for lack of a better term, what I would call behind the scenes or in the dark pools. The dark pools are exchanges. Let me rephrase this. The dark pools are trades that take place not in the open market. So this is one large firm picking up the phone, calling another large firm saying, hey, do you want to buy, $500,000 worth of XYZ? And they strike a deal behind the scenes, and this is what we're kind of tracking here. So it's the big money in the market. It's not the mom and pop traders. It's the institutional traders. So as I take a look at this, and there's a lot of different ways you can slice and dice this. So I did look at DJT, very bullish activity, but it's trailed off during the course of the day here. Of course, the Qs, open big, they've trailed off as well, but that could be something to consider. But the one I'm going to look at here, and I'm not normally a crazy trader in this sense, but is going to be GME. Now, there's a reason for this. So if I open up GME and I take a look at it, this shows a lot of the activity. We can see up here that it's very bullish activity. But what I want to do is I want to narrow this down. I only want to look at upcoming expirations that are here, in the very near future. Let's just go out like 10 days, for example. And I can see within the 10-day window, it's very bullish. So this is going to be your July 19th expirations and then next Friday's expirations as well. And what's really interesting here is we look at some of these numbers by the 35 call, I think, or 40 call. So somebody's spending $45,000 to buy a 40 call that's going to expire this Friday. Now, that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look and see where we're trading here. We're trading at $26 and change. So somebody's going out and they think it's going to get above 40 by Friday. That's all the way up here. Now, obviously, if anything can do it, it's GME. I mean, the way this thing just somehow goes ballistic at different times. I know it's the whole roaring kitty thing and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're buying the 25 call I kind of get. We're trading at 26. That makes sense. 28 call. But when you're buying 30 calls, 40 calls, and again, big numbers here, $40,000 worth, $55,000 worth of 30 calls. So there's some big money that thinks this thing is going to explode, and they think this is going to explode fairly soon. Look, this one's got $327,000 out there. Now they're only buying the 27.5 call, which is only a point and a half above where we are. So to me, that's at least a little more realistic. This is even an in the money call. This person's going above the ask, spending $18,000 to buy a 30 call. So extremely bullish activity here. Does that guarantee that this thing is going to fly? It does not. But it gives us a little bit of a peek behind the scenes in that somebody seems to think it is. So if I want to trade along with this, how might I do that? Well, obviously, this is a very bullish scenario. So I want to come in, I want to build a bullish trade. So I could just simply buy a long call if I wanted. I could just come in and buy a specific long call. That's about as bullish as it gets. But that long call is going to be somewhat expensive. If I bought close to the money long call here, I'm going to spend $130 on that. I mean, if this thing did, in fact, go up like they were expecting, if this thing went up to 40, I mean, that would be a huge return on my $130. But I kind of feel like I want to hedge my bets a little bit here. I don't want to necessarily spend that much money, so I don't want to just buy this long call. So let me go and sell a call against that as well. So I come in here and I'm going to sell a call as well. And let me sell that call. Let's see here. I can sell that. I can sell that call out here at, maybe I'll sell it at 40. Again, somebody seems to think it might get up to 40. So in doing that, I've reduced my max risk in the trade. It was 130. That tells me that I'm taking in, somewhere in the neighborhood of 35, 40 bucks on this, which is exactly what that is. So that's how much I'm picking up. I'm capping my upside. I have to know that this is a fairly low probability trade, 37%, but this 37% does not take into account this extremely bullish sentiment that seems to be in place behind the scenes for some reason. Not sure why. So I'm going to go ahead, and if I wanted to actually reduce the cost in this a little further, I could go to the 27, and I'll do the 27.40. That gives me $89, and just for the heck of it, I mean, if I went all the way up here to 30, I mean, that brings this trade down to $46.50. So, but I've got a ways further to go before that becomes a profitable trade. So I kind of like that 27 range. We're currently trading at 26.45. So I'm going to go ahead and save this trade. And it's obviously a bull call spread. And I'm going to make a note here. Found via flow. And this is going to be a start to finish trade. I will save the trade. I'm going to copy the link. I'll share the link in the comments down below. So everyone, feel free to comment back there, and ask questions, etc. But this, using the flow function, is a way to kind of get a sense as to what is it that big money might be doing behind the scenes. And sometimes that gives a little insight into whether or not there's going to be follow through in a movement. And in this case, that was super bullish. And again, the fact that people are going out buying $40 calls, big money on $40 calls that are expiring this weekend or this Friday. I mean, they seem to think they know something. Whether they do or not, time will tell. But so I figure it's kind of worth a shot here. It's a very low risk, high reward type of trade. But along with that comes a lower percent chance of profitability. So anyhow, we'll see how this pans out, and I'll be watching it, checking it out later in the week. Take care, everyone. And again, I should also mention, these are always paper trades, okay? These are trades to help learn and understand how options move, how they play in the real world, if you will. So always keep that in mind. Take care.